You didn't announce it, you just stopped. And somehow that became a problem, not for you, for everyone else. The messages started slowly. Hey, you okay? Then faster, then weirder. A friend texted your mutual friend to ask if something had happened. Your cousin mentioned it at dinner like it was news. Someone you haven't spoken to in 2 years suddenly slid into your DMs, not to reconnect, just to check if you were still alive. You are. You're just not performing it anymore. And nobody knows what to do with that. Because in a world where everyone broadcasts everything, every meal, every mood, every minor inconvenience, your silence doesn't read as peace. It reads as a threat. And here's what nobody will say to your face. The people who are most disturbed by your silence are the ones who needed your audience the most. Remember that. We're coming back to it. Let's go back to the moment before you stopped. You're sitting somewhere ordinary. Your bed, a bathroom, a lunch break that ran long, and you're scrolling. You're not enjoying it. You haven't enjoyed it in months, maybe longer, but you keep going because stopping feels like falling off something. Like if you put the phone down, you'll miss the thing that makes sense of everything else. So you scroll, and somewhere in the scroll you post something. Not because it matters, because you haven't posted in a few days and the silence feels loud, and you need to break it before someone asks if you're okay. You pick a photo, you edit it slightly, you write a caption, delete it, write another one, shorter, more casual. Like you didn't think about it. You post it and then you wait. You don't call it waiting. You call it just checking your phone, but you check it 4 times in the first 10 minutes. You notice who liked it. You notice who didn't. You do the math on what that means and then tell yourself you're not doing the math. 7 minutes later, you check again. 11 minutes after that. Each time telling yourself it's the last time. It's never the last time. And somewhere between the 3rd check and the 4th, something shifts. Not dramatically, not the way it happens in films. Just a quiet internal door closing. Slowly, without you choosing it. That's when it hits you. Not a breakdown, not a revelation. Just a quiet, exhausted thought. I am performing a version of my life for people who are performing a version of theirs, and none of us are actually watching each other. We're just watching ourselves be watched. You put the phone down. You don't pick it back up that night. And the next morning, when the habit reaches for it, your hand moves and then stops. And you think, what if I just don't? So you don't. That day, then the next. Then a week passes and you realize you haven't missed it the way you expected to. You've missed the distraction, but not the performance. And the quiet that follows isn't peaceful at first. It's loud in a different way. Itchy. Like a sound you've been hearing so long you forgot it was noise. You sit with it. Days pass. The itch fades. Something else starts to grow in its place. Something slower. Something that doesn't need an audience to feel real. Psychologists call it self-concept clarity. It's a measure of how well-defined, consistent, and stable your sense of self is, independent of external feedback. Most people have never tested theirs because most people have never been offline long enough to find out who they are when no one is watching. Think about what social media actually is at its core. It's a continuous identity referendum. Every post is a proposal. This is who I am. This is what I value. This is what my life looks like. And every like, every comment, every share is a vote. Approved, rejected, ignored. You run for election every single day. And if you lose, if a post lands flat, if no one responds, if the algorithm buries it, something in you adjusts slightly, quietly. You file it away. Note to self, that version of me didn't perform well. Try something different. Over time, you don't even notice you're doing it. You start softening opinions before you post them. Choosing photos where you look a certain way. Writing captions that are relatable enough to get engagement, but not vulnerable enough to invite real responses. You curate constantly, automatically. Your sense of self becomes a product of the audience's response, not your values, not your actual experience. The feedback loop, that's not confidence, that's crowdsourced identity. And here's what makes it dangerous. The feedback loop is designed to never resolve. Social media platforms don't profit from you feeling settled. They profit from you feeling almost enough, almost validated, almost seen, close enough to keep checking. Never close enough to stop. You weren't addicted to your phone. You were addicted to the unresolved question of whether you were enough. And the only way to answer that question, the only real way, is to stop asking the crowd, which is what you did, which is why it felt like free fall at first. Because when you've been crowdsourcing your identity for years, the silence doesn't feel like peace. It feels like disappearing. But you didn't disappear. You just stopped being performed. And those are not the same thing. People with a strong sense of self don't need constant input from others to feel stable, less anxious, less reactive, less dependent on someone else's reaction to regulate their mood. But they don't start that way. Nobody does. Clarity isn't a personality trait you're born with. It's what happens when you sit with yourself long enough to find out what's actually there, separate from the role you play online, separate from the version of you that gets engagement, separate from the character you've been slowly building for an audience that wasn't paying as much attention as you thought. Your brain is also wired to measure. It's evolutionary. You compare yourself to others to assess threat, status, belonging. That's not weakness. That's biology. But that system wasn't built for a feed of curated highlight reels refreshing every 30 seconds. Every scroll is a measurement. Am I doing as well as them? As happy? As successful? As loved? As interesting? As thin? As productive? As at peace? The answer is always just ambiguous enough to keep you looking. Always just unclear enough that one more scroll might resolve it. That's not an accident. That's architecture. So when you stopped scrolling, the comparison engine had nothing to run on. And slowly, not immediately, not dramatically, your baseline started to stabilize. You stopped measuring, not because you became enlightened, because you removed the measuring instrument. And here's what nobody puts in the study. The people who reacted most strongly to your absence weren't worried about you. They were unsettled by you. Because someone opting out of the system is a threat to everyone still inside it. Your silence didn't just mean you were gone. It meant the game could be quit. And if it could be quit, if you could walk away and be fine, then what does that say about everyone who can't? What does it say about the ones who check every morning before they've even opened their eyes? Your silence asked a question they weren't ready to answer, and they called it concern. But it wasn't concern, it was fear. You're still not posting. Maybe you'll go back someday, maybe differently, on your terms, for your reasons, or maybe you won't. Either way, you're not hiding. You're not broken. You're not depressed. You're not missing out. You're just living in a way that doesn't require an audience to feel real. And that's the thing they can't explain. The thing that keeps them sending the "Are you okay?" messages. The thing that made your cousin bring it up at dinner like it was something to be fixed. They're not checking on you. They're checking if you came back. Because if you stayed gone, if you kept being fine without the feed, without the likes, without the performance, then they'd have to ask themselves why they can't. The people who are most disturbed by your silence are the ones who needed your audience the most. You can exist without being watched. And that's not confidence, that's freedom.